Hey guys, wanted to make a quick video to talk about Federalist 70, which is a Hamilton Federalist paper primarily about the executive branch. One of the big issues I saw in this on almost every single one that I graded is that you guys got to make sure you're reading the questions and answering the questions that are being asked. Question 1 says, how does the structure of the executive branch affect the political system? A lot of you guys just gave me a list of powers of the president or specific checks and balances that presidents have, but that doesn't answer the question. The question's asking how the structure of the executive branch affects the political system. So how does the fact that the president is one person impact how he interacts with the other branches and how he does the job of being president? So you can see here the sample answer they gave. They talk about, the unity of the executive prevents encroachment on of the legislative branch because there's no one to divide in the presidency. Congress can't target one executive over another executive and try to promote discord. There is only one executive, and he is the president. So the president being an individual flavors the presidency. It makes presidencies unique. It gives, presidents the ability to, build special relationships with individual senators and individual congressmen to try to accomplish their goals. So the presidency as an individual, the fact that the presidency is a person, is really impactful on how the presidency functions. As far as holding the presidency accountable, again, Hamilton says, the fact that the presidency is a single person makes it easier to hold them accountable because they can't dodge issues. Harry Truman used to say, he had this little sign on his desk that said, "The buck stops here." And it was, a barnyard aphorism for the idea that when something reaches the president, that is the last stop. There's no other place that decision can be made. And so if you get it right, presidents deserve all the praise in the world for it because they made the decision. And if they get it wrong, they deserve the derision of the people. You are the president. It doesn't matter if it was, someone you appointed who made a mistake. It doesn't matter if a law that you signed had an issue within it. You're the president. It stops with you. So it makes it very easy for the public to hold you accountable because you're the one who made the decisions. What was Hamilton's main argument? His big argument is that presidents should be empowered to take action. One of the first things he says is that energy in an executive is a key factor in good governance, that presidents are able to quickly respond to crises, that they have the powers necessary to meet the needs of the people. They're fast, they can respond. They're easy to hold accountable because there's only one of them, so there's no other person for them to pass the blame to. So good governments have executives that can perform the duty of an executive to actually enforce the rules. And then lastly, what evidence does Hamilton use? He goes a couple different directions. All of the founding fathers love going back to the classical eras, so they like to talk about, Athenian democracy. They like to talk about the Roman Republic, and use those as examples for good and ill. Hamilton points out that the Roman Republic, one of the reasons it fell is because it was a plural executive and they had co-councils that were running the republic, and when those councils disagreed, sometimes the results were brutal wars. The fall of the Roman Republic happens when the councils go to war with each other, and Caesar is the one who survives, and then the people try to make him emperor. And even though he rebuffs it and is eventually assassinated, an emperor rises anyway. So he's saying, don't pit these executives against each other because it's probably going to be more disastrous than if it was clear who the leader should be. And that's why we have a single executive in the presidency. He also points out that some of the states had plural executives in their state governments, and it made it difficult to hold them accountable. When you have 12 executives in your state government, they all just keep pointing fingers at each other saying, no, it's not my fault, it's this guy's fault. That just makes it harder to hold them accountable. This was a long reading. I think a lot of the issue that I was finding in grading them is if you didn't do the reading or you didn't read far enough into Federalist 70, you did not have the answers that you needed. And that's part of taking an AP class, guys. I mean, yes, sometimes the founding fathers could be a bit long-winded, and you just got to, buckle down and get through it. Hamilton doesn't know how to end an argument. Sometimes he loops back around on his own argument 2 or 3 times before he finishes the essay. It's a nature of his writing, but at least Hamilton's writing tends to be pretty entertaining. He uses lots of great examples. He's a very colorful writer. He's a very engaging writer. And if you had read far enough in, then that question 1 would have been more apparent, that they're talking about the idea that the presidency is an individual and how that impacts the president's behavior with the other branches. So that's all I have on Federalist 70. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.